We're live, boss.
Good evening, and welcome to We All Gon' Die Wednesday. I see you found the right place.
For whom does the bell toll?
For George Santos today, R.I.P. He's going through the federal ringer. Livingston man, roll that beautiful bean footage. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to We All Go Die Wednesday. This is it. You made it. You made it this far. Living life face first. Hello from Columbia County. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see who's here tonight. Travis, Eric. Yeah, we're a little late. Sorry, we're doing some research.
We got somewhere to be. We in a big rush.
Sorry, I'm like freaked
We
out.
all gonna
today.
die Wednesday. Everybody's like, let's get it over with already.
The ticks almost got me today, man. I found a couple ticks crawling on me, and
I
now I got the heebie-jeebies, so they're freaking everywhere right
I
now.
thought you meant the ticks.
Yeah, no, they creep me out. Hate those freaking bastards.
You know, for whatever reason, I ain't seen one yet, and it's bugging me out. No pun intended. But
Okay,
there it was.
All right.
I go out in the
You're out there all the time.
SHIT all day.
I walk near the woods, and they're like, yeah, it was the big ones today too. Big nasty brown wood ticks. I think they call them the big brown ones. No, I just cut them in half with a utility knife, man.
Flamethrower. Hello, Elon.
Yeah,
I need a shipment, bro.
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great night. I see Prepping Artist was first here this evening, so Prepping Artist, thank you. She was here mad early. She saw there was a live stream and jumped in and hit the first.
Patty Rose said there's a part in that song with a nasty guitar solo. There's even a video of it, but the problem is that I was never quite happy with it. Felt like it'd do better, and for whatever reason, I got like locked up where you just couldn't play the damn thing right.
Yeah.
And we kept doing it, messing up. Like, why don't you listen?
So I noticed earlier, Jay Creature wants to know where 125 is, and we all want to know where 125 is. We think he's doing marvelous. We all hope he's doing wonderful. He's a busy guy.
I think y'all hurt his feelings. I think you did. He slunk away to the shadows. He'll be back in 2024 to run for re-election.
Foxfire, welcome. Overland Gear Guy, welcome from Utah, my friend. We are in the People's Republic of New Yorkistan.
Hail the glorious leader, Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy.
Love you.
What do we call her? The Buffalo Witch? The Buffalo Witch. Yeah, the Wicked Witch of Buffalo. Johnny Preps, welcome. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing great, man. We got a couple topics to talk about this evening, Livingston, man. Should we start with the asshole?
Well, I guess two of them are like wildly interesting. Science-based, and then there's like this fucking guy.
Yeah, that freaking guy, and of course, he's from New York.
How do I want?
And he's what would I call him? I would call him a lying sack of shit. He is a lying sack of shit and a politician. So, yeah. So, Mr. George Santos, this guy won election, had a real interesting campaign. Gear Guy, welcome, my friend. Yeah, he had a real interesting campaign, and it was all bullshit. He lied about everything. fabricated everything, used his campaign contributions apparently to pay for his credit cards, pay his credit cards off, and other personal things. A real piece of shit. Real piece of shit. When you think New York politician, there's a picture of this guy, you know, because he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. He's a liar and he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he doesn't speak. That's a fella.
They asked him to resign,
too,
right? They asked him to
like,
resign
no,
in disgrace, and he refused. He's a piece of shit, man. I can't.
I don't know what to make of this guy. At first,
13 federal indictment counts, and I hope they throw the book at this guy, man.
I don't know what it is, this fella's motive, or like whatever it is that he thinks he's doing with this. At first, they sort of portrayed this guy as like he used, he used the same tactics as the Democrats did to get in office. Like he just lied.
Yeah.
Did just said stuff. Or now, okay, so is this guy a total like scumbag?
Well, he fabricated most of his life story, so to speak, fabricated a lot of things, and used those fabrications to gain campaign contributions, which he used for personal gain.
Could he be looked at as a sort of whistleblower that like this is all you have to do?
So, my hope is that this peels back
I'm not coming out for this guy.
No.
I'm trying to understand his motive, his reason. I'm hoping it's something
I hope
like that.
it peels back the curtain,
like this
and,
is all
and
you have
shows
to do.
Everybody that when he takes the stand and says, well, I'm just one of 342 people who are in Congress.
Where do you find out everybody else
same
did
exact thing? That's what I'm hoping comes out of this, and this guy's really not the piece of shit that I think he is, because he was a blatant piece of shit and a blatant liar. It's just terrible. It's not a good look, especially not a good look for East Islip, New York. And if you're from there and you voted for this dude, I understand that sometimes it's always better to go with the right as opposed to the left.
Well, let's not forget. I mean, like 37% of people.
Lord, man, come on.
Man, people voted for D's nuts, bro. Like.
Yeah, he did get a good percentage of the vote, didn't he?
So, people will vote for whatever some Bodie McBoatface. If you get that reference, we can be friends.
Living Life Face First says Nugent and Norris 2024. I am all about it. I'm all about it. Should I throw my hat in the ring, Livingston, man? I'm telling you,
you should.
I'll be Angry Preppers Vice President, Angry and Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival 2024. Just write us in.
I would gladly fill a sort of like a
Secretary of State
command.
Yeah, well, we just get to. Then once you're the man, you just get to appoint
pure Russian logic. Have you ever seen the way the Russian diplomats work? They're just like, no, you're wrong. Like, you're invading our country. They're like, no, we're not.
No, we're not even here, bro.
With a straight face, they just tell you, everything you said is a lie, and that's fine. I don't know about this Santos guy. I'd love to. And now what he says is now that he is going to go to trial and face 20 years in prison for whatever the hell they brought up against him. This is the beginning of the ability for me to address and defend myself, a cheerfully combative Santos told reporters swarming him outside a Long Island federal courthouse. He said he's been cooperating with the investigation and vowed to fight the prosecution, which of course he labeled a witch hunt. This is another new thing.
It's witch hunt.
It's going to be another new thing is every time there's political prosecution. This is, again, the slow road down the decline of empire, everybody. All right, and now we start to prosecute and imprison the opposition.
If the decline of Rome was televised,
this is what it would have looked like. This is it right here.
Yeah.
And I don't want to use the A word. That's going to become a factor too. The way the car showed through me right then. Hold on, let me get that again. Okay, no. But
Prepping Mantis, have a great night, my friend.
What you are seeing here, everyone, is the decline, televised, and
of the United States of America.
Transformed into an entertainment sort of season finale where it's a slow burn,
Oh, big time.
You gotta watch the whole thing, man. It's binge worthy, right?
Yeah.
Gotta love what you're watching on the television.
Gotta tune into the old news and see what's happening.
Ironic, the guy on the television would start.
I tend to read the news on Tuesdays. Otherwise, I Prepper Now, man. Prepper Now. If you guys want news and you don't have time, Prepper Now. Hands down.
I question, do I need the news? Because it's really getting to be like, this is taking forever.
It is. You know, they said it was all going to kick off as soon as Ukraine got invaded. That was the big thing. And then
they always hold you right on the brink. They edge you. Edging you.
So we're looking at a second spring offensive, right?
Just edging.
Second spring offensive. And things aren't. It's like a stalemate. It's like a stalemate. My Mother's Spark, no, but we're working on it, and we have not heard from Black Star Boys yet. He's our correspondent from tomorrow. For those who don't know, Black Star Boys lives in the land down under, and so he will tell us if tomorrow comes a little early. So we'll get a little advanced warning that we made it to tomorrow. Yeah, man. Yeah, Good.
The decline of an empire. And ladies and gentlemen, the rules are the rules. Throughout history, a typical empire lasted about 250 to 300 years at its peak. And
those are just the rules, right?
Unfortunately,
that's just the way it's
the mathematics has spoken. The patterns have shown themselves. And America has reigned supreme. And we on our way down, guys, and that's the bottom line.
I did not put up a poll in the chat, but I would like to know from the viewers if you think that Title 42 ending tomorrow, right? Title 42 ends tomorrow. Do you think Title 42 ending will be the proverbial nail in the coffin for the United States empire? If you believe that the end of this and the influx of people will be the nail in the coffin, press 1. Give me a 1 in the chat if you think the end of Title 42 is the end of the empire.
Now, I could look this up right now, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna ask, what is Title 42?
Title 42 was a policy that was enacted during the pandemic, right? And it was instituted to make sure that people trying to cross the border were kept in Mexico. That's what Title 42 is. Title 42 is coming to an end. Now those people will no longer be kept in Mexico. They will be housed in Estados Unidos, right?
And so we can't just, extend or something. They can raise the debt ceiling until we're blue in the face. No worries, bro. We don't got no more money. Make more. Oh, good idea. But we can't just be like, can we just close the border for another 4 years? Like, I don't know if we can just do that. I don't think that's racist or something.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Decline of an Empire nonsense. A lot of ideological belief system. Some people call it woke, whatever you call it. This is what we're up against here. Is when people say our culture is being destroyed. It's like that's what it is. And the globalism possibly they talked about, where they were like, it's a bad idea. Because everyone wants to be a global citizen. Everyone they want to get on TV, have a press conference and talk about this is a
globalization. It's a global movement.
Give me a fucking microphone. There's one. This is a sanctuary city, and all peoples are included here, and we will make accommodations for everyone.
All right.
And then so they do that. They send the people to that place.
Busloads, right?
But then they're like, how dare you? We didn't actually think you'd do it. So now they want to make the problem everyone else's problem. The folks that didn't exactly.
Well, they went to the sanctuary cities. There's actually a state of emergency.
You're talking about people, and you're calling
state of emergency declared in New York because of the influx of migrants, and they believe that there's going to be more and more and more migrants coming. So Kathy Hochul, in her infinite wisdom, has decided to give Eric Adams of NYC, the mayor of New York City, $1 billion to take care of the migrants coming here. So if you are a citizen of New York, a stan like I am, that's where your tax money is going to go now. We're gonna pay to house everybody here. You know, the city declared themselves a sanctuary city. Now they're busing people upstate and dropping them off.
This is an example, if nothing else, of not only hollow words by, in this case, Democrats, saying one thing and then quite literally doing it. It was remember when they sent the busloads of migrants
to Martha's Vineyard,
right? And they were like, absolutely.
Out of there fast.
It was like they said, hell, the F no.
But you're a sanctuary.
No.
A sanctuary city.
But they they went on TikTok and they were like, my sanctuary city, you guys. Oh my God, I love Ukraine and everybody else. And then the Ukrainians showed up and they were like, absolutely not. I will not.
Jay Creature, exactly. $1 billion, and they shipped them to Orange County. Yeah.
In Orange and Rockland, and then they ain't having it.
They had to declare a state of emergency because there's a housing crisis, if nobody has noticed.
And the building inspectors nailed the one place. They were like, it looks as though you're setting up to house these folks, and you can't do that. They called them out in their zoning.
Is that?
That's not what you're set here to do.
Yeah, man. It's
So you'll notice that these folks are quite willing to bend and or break the law to further their agenda, whatever it is, because it's
absolutely
what they're now what's now happening is they are being forced to eat words. Talked all that.
Now they have to back it up. The problem,
and it's a mad scramble. Democrat. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again.
Say it again.
Democrats are very good at organizing, spreading a message, and getting elected.
Absolutely.
They are absolutely terrible at following through on what they said.
They can't do it. They can't do it. What's happening?
Brings me back to my boy, George Santos here.
Yeah.
Now he did, this is what I came up with.
He lied his way in.
And said a bunch of stuff that wasn't true, and then
but it was about himself. It wasn't about what he was going to do. I do believe that the man it was doing his job. I just think that he portrayed himself as someone he was not to get money to get elected.
You ever heard of Hillary Clinton?
The Chappaqua witch. She's a freaking New Yorker too. Oh man, we got all the best people here.
She moved here and bought a cushy place in the Catskills, wherever it is.
Chappaqua, down south. Yeah.
So that she could be assistant, so she could get handed the senator. She could be the senator from New York. Yeah. Showed up here. She lived here for 2 hours.
Brett, have a great one, man. Stay safe, my friend. Man, yeah, we get the cream of the crop here, and bro, they're
standard being applied, aren't you?
So they're dropping the migrants in the city. The city doesn't have a place to house them all, right?
It's so big with so much housing, and yet for some reason,
but it's so expensive, Livingston, man. So if you come upstate, it's a little cheaper, right? A little less dense on the pocketbook to house these guys.
Who's paying for this anyway?
We are.
So at least they're trying to find a good deal.
Well, supposedly, but they bust them up here and they take over a hotel.
They're gonna end up sticking them up in Onion Town, and then they're gonna get put to work as indentured servants.
It's terrible, man. It's terrible. It's like watching a train wreck here in New York every day.
Complete mismanagement.
The cars just keep coming and lumping up, and I'm just waiting for the oil cars to hit and the whole thing to catch fire.
And it won't. It'll burn slow, and it'll just be really smoky and be worse than it should be. Democrats, you guys. And you know what? I keep saying the D word.
The worst part is these
politicians.
These are people who are coming here in search of a better life. Who, if the process was in order where they could just step up to the border and say, hey, I'd like to work my way to be an American citizen. Whatever I need to do to be an American, I just want to be part of this.
They're being used as pawns in some BS.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible what they're doing to people. And so many people get taken advantage of with the coyotes and everything else. It's fucking terrible, man.
Some of these folks believe in the so-called American dream when all that. If you're watching this channel, I know that you think that the American dream is a joke at this point. But these folks genuinely believe it, and it's annoying, insulting, embarrassing when they get here and they're shown the reality of it.
sorry we have no
What are we,
place
the
for
number 2 or 3 prison capital of the world? Like, we don't have a
Sure, you can
police-
come here, but you're probably going to go to jail.
a surveillance society, a police state. Like, the myths are true. Like, we're like racist and stuff. Come on. Like, this sucks. The whole situation and whatever is going on, the people in charge of this that were allegedly elected are not doing it right.
Very interesting. Jay Creature says private security is what they're looking for to make sure these places are secure. I find that very interesting that they don't even have the manpower to watch over these people. That they're trying to hire private agencies. That's
Why
really
do these people need to be watched over? I mean, what's the problem?
Because they just got thrown over the border with no paperwork. We don't know if Fernando is who Fernando says he is, Livingston, man. Just got to keep an eye on those guys.
You don't know if George Santos is who he said he is. You elected him to Congress.
Welcome to New Yorkistan, folks. Nothing. Somebody asked me the other day. I saw a post on the old Facebook, and it was, "Hey man, has anybody heard anything about the Bermuda Triangle? I haven't heard anything about it in a little while.
Nothing coming out of
and
there."
I wonder if maybe they turned CERN on so high that it sucked us into another dimension where the Bermuda Triangle is now the only place where normalcy exists any fucking more.
That's where them like billion crabs went.
They went to hang out there.
You guys remember that?
A
billion
awesome.
crabs disappeared.
Yeah,
and
they
nobody
all
talked about it.
They all gone.
A billion crabs.
TT1, welcome, my friend. Yeah, man, I don't. We're in like a fucking alternate reality anymore.
Unprecedented events every day. You guys, it is clearly season finales. This could possibly series finale stuff.
Yeah, it could be.
They're gonna kill off all the favorite characters in a blaze
we're all gonna die.
of glory, you guys. Welcome to the end of America.
Yeah.
This is only the 34th time that we have predicted it.
My
and
mother
we ain't
Spark
wrong.
says
we ain't wrong.
They're all deep fakes. Fed up American. What's happening, my friend?
Everything you ever saw.
All gonna die Wednesday. So we talked about the Lion congressional piece of trash.
Which one?
And we have spoken about the border crisis. Now, New York is throwing some money behind the border crisis. We are sending some troops down there, I guess, some National Guard guys.
To New York.
Well, no, to the southern border to help out down there.
What does someone do with like Texas about to start protecting itself or something?
They
George
need to.
Santos
They need to.
sucks.
There, yeah. Texas is patrolling
Texas
its own
is patrolling its own border.
Yeah.
Don't hit the end screen. That'll kill us all.
Oh man.
So what had happened was 4 C-130 military transport planes towered over the tarmac at Austin's International Airport, idling with the doors open as the sun rose over a news conference called by the Texas governor, Greg Abbott. Wow. Dramatic, you guys. As he began speaking from a lectern, emblazoned with the words "securing the border," 200 soldiers from the National Guard hustled onto the planes. They will be deployed to hot spots along the border to intercept, to repel, and turn back migrants who are trying to enter Texas illegally.
Right. 200.
Now, any United States military force, 200 people is like something like, is it a company? It's like 5 platoons?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Correct me in the comments, I might be wrong. But you guys, so he sent a company of U.S. soldiers, and if they're equipped at all, they are outmatching those filthy migrants by one hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Now,
to say the least.
Now, people are going to go nuts with this. This is, again, this is that
bad.
shit.
It's bad, man. It's bad.
This is the time, like, when they tried to paint it like the Border Patrol was whipping them from the horses and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Now, all of a sudden, whatever unit he's deployed here is going to catch, like, mad hate. They're going to be portrayed as, like, some kind of Viking Azov battalion out here doing white nationalist bullshit.
It, man. Well, they've done it before. You know, there's a lot of, there was a lot of private groups that used to go down and patrol the southern border.
That's vigilante
like
stuff?
Arizona and things like that. Well, that's basically what they drummed it up to be. But the guys were, down there deterring people. You know, you see people in camouflage with a rifle, you tend to turn around and go the other way, especially when you're looking to sneak across the border illegally.
That's true.
So their presence alone, in most cases, was enough to turn people away. They are not allowed to apprehend anybody. All they can do is call the Border Patrol on the radio and say, hey, we got some guys, you know, jumping the fence here or trying to cross there. And they'll hopefully come meet up with them. In most cases, they don't have the personnel to go deal with it. So hopefully they just, you know, their presence alone was enough to deter these people from crossing the border. But it's all, you know, they paint it with the broad brush that it's a bunch of vigilantes down there trying to scare people away and play army. When in reality, it's a bunch of concerned citizens who don't want all of these people rushing the border because it's a burden on our tax dollars. And most of them work cash jobs and don't pay any taxes anyway. So,
well, you know, I think with this whole border dispute and then it's spilling over into the rest of the country. So Texas is, of course, getting handed like the end of the stick.
Absolutely.
But so then what they're turning around and doing is like they're like spreading the wealth with that. They're like, oh yeah, well you said you wanted them, and you said you were like,
exactly.
If, this,
if you're a sanctuary city, you better get ready because they're freaking coming. Believe that.
But this kind of acrimony amongst the so-called United States of America.
Yeah, not so united when you dump an extra million people into your state.
Well, and then all the states are bickering with one another. You know who's like been like conspicuously quiet?
Maine.
Yeah, like
Maine.
Y'all even in America anymore? They're like,
yeah, we could just slide into Canada real quick.
Again, like another euphemism that totalitarian states tend to use is things like the United States of America, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the People's Republic of China,
of New Yorkistan.
And of course, whenever they say that, you know that it's like not true. Like okay, they said they're a democratic republic. That must mean that that's a military dictatorship, and you know this. But
yeah,
when you apply it to America, everybody's like, no, it couldn't be. Not my America, bro. Couldn't be.
Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
It couldn't be.
Yeah, Livingston, man. The more you look at the global stage,
balkanization of America is what
you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, it is. Well, that was my ultimate point there. I digressed. The ultimate point is the balkanization. Got Texas bitching at everybody. Everybody's like, "Hey, man, screw you and screw him." And United States, my ass, bro. You divided states. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how you dig your way out of that. Balkanization. And again, end of empire shit. Little breakaway republics start happening like the Soviet Union crumbled. Putin's sitting back like, it's working. Yeah, it's working.
It's totally happening. It's totally happening. Yeah, Ghost Lincoln says the People's Republic of New York is stand. That's right. Because I tell you what, man, you get out of we're not behind enemy lines. Sector. Yes, we are.
Some people say we're behind enemy lines. I like to call it occupied territory.
Okay. That's a better way to put it.
I was here first.
I'm like that. Occupied territory. Yeah.
I'm the gray man who was here the whole time. Like the woke wave, the bull crap. It's gonna move on. It moves along.
At some point.
It doesn't work.
Well, I've seen things here turn from red to blue, and now they're swaying back and forth yet again, because the folks come out of the city, and the country life, right? The country life, and then they realize that everything is 25 minutes to a half an hour away, and there's not a Starbucks on the corner, and you got to drive to get here, you got to drive to get there, and they're not about that life. They want everything right around the corner. Hop the bus, hop the subway, and boom, 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 you're there. That doesn't exist here. That kind of infrastructure doesn't exist. You're on your own. Welcome to the wildlands.
We had this,
and then they go back.
Migration of people from south of the border, and I mean Westchester.
Very true, very true.
And I can't stand them. I'd rather a bunch of folks, hardworking, honest people from Mexico come here than some of these losers in their Audis and Land Rovers that just are oblivious to life live in my town. Who would I identify more with? Karen in the fucking SUV or like Jose, like just trying to make a living? I'll tell you which one.
Jose.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you know where you're drawing your lines at, folks.
Yeah. But the financial crunch is going to continue. It's going to continue. I don't know if anybody saw the inflation report today. It was like 4-point-something%.
The money's fake. Get over it.
Well, that just means that everything has gone up another 4.8%.
It's like worrying about like the statistics on a TV show that's fake. You're like, oh well, they said on Game of Thrones that the money ain't worth nothing.
Yeah,
money's not worth anything. It's a piece of paper. If you even get to have one of those.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just gotta.
I found a silver quarter the other day. Somebody gave me a silver quarter and the change.
You should melt that. Melt that.
Yes. No, I just put it in the spot. Just put it in the spot. Leave it there. Silver, real silver. Yep, 4.8% says Lucky Dame Preparedness. Yeah, man, and that freaking hurts, man. That's month over month over month over month of the price of things rising. Your wages ain't doing that, but every fucking thing else is. Everything else is.
At first, I was about to apologize for being a negative Nancy, and I remember this is We All Gonna Die Wednesday.
Yeah, it's the truth.
What is frustrating, and yet because it's so frustrating and what's seemingly impossible, it's easy to let go of, is that the entire like building structure, foundation.
It's crumbling. It needs to go. The whole thing is going to topple.
That you almost don't care. You're like, anything but this. Like as you watch it just spiral more and more out of we the people's control. If we're being honest, it really, really looks like 150 very rich people are just doing whatever they want with complete disregard. Let them eat cake attitude.
Oh yeah, bro. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
And,
they don't care
why
about
should they?
else.
And it is it's just so frustrating that it's almost freeing. You're like, you know what? I just don't give a fuck.
It's gonna crumble.
See this cityscape behind us? This is what
the future of New York City looks like right there.
This is what our current system, this is what our current culture, our current way of life, that behind us is what we are doing is going to lead to.
Snurps says, I grew up in Kinderhook, New York most of my life, moved to SC 5 years ago. It's a shame how such a beautiful upstate New York has been ruined by the city. You are not kidding, Snurps.
It started when they were throwing their masks on the ground. And
for one, they 5 years ago, you got out before.
They litter. I think
before the mass upstate influx.
I bitched about this on the last live.
They came up when the pandemic hit.
Y'all litter.
The city folks came up here and bought every house that was for sale, sometimes sight unseen. If they could find a house in an area that they wanted, they would just buy it. Didn't even come and look at it. Just buy it. Just get the paperwork done. I'll come up and check it out after the fact.
Because they knew.
But no, they came up, they bought everything and drove the prices sky high. And now they're leaving again. Now that they've driven the prices so high that nobody can afford them locally. They're all retreating back to the city because, no more pandemic.
You know what other organism does that? A parasite. It like feeds off its host.
One for the Livingston man. That's, and upstate New York is the lifeblood of New York City, both literally and figuratively.
We got your water.
We have all of the reservoirs.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm going to drop knowledge, okay? Spoiler alert.
How many farms are in New York City?
It is every upstate New Yorker's solemn duty to take a poo in a reservoir. Headed for y'all downstream.
DEP's coming for you. Don't do it. Don't do it.
We've all done it. We don't recommend it, but we have indeed all done it.
Oh, Uncle Charlie said his house doubled 6 months after he sold it. Yep. That's tough.
There needs to be.
Says same here in southeastern Connecticut. Yeah, man.
Because I am an expert on such things, I'm going to drop more knowledge. I'm going to take y'all to school route. All right. So to fix the problems I see in America, not even Western society. I don't consider Europe to be Western. Europe can do its own thing. Herbs.
Let them have
America. Okay, there needs to be a return to the like. I'm gonna use the words "Make America Great Again," and I'm gonna assume that like we have big brains and we like know what was meant by that. Like a greater time when America, not the people, not the culture, but the system itself was. We were producers. We were innovators. We were the ones doing the thing on the world stage. It was about us.
Yeah.
We were making things happen. Okay. We made mistakes. There was racism. There was discrimination. There was all this that everybody else did too. And okay, work past it. But we need to get back to that where everyone has a common goal. I think the word is patriotism. I hate to use an extremist lingo there.
We need to get back to American exceptionalism.
Where you don't, maybe you don't have to be arrogant, but again, prideful. Like you should be proud of where you're from and what your people have accomplished, though you have done some wrong in the past, because on a personal level, you should be proud of what you've done, but shame what you've done and learn from your mistakes and moved on. We cannot be continuously returning to the mistakes we made. Enough already. We're sorry. And I didn't do it.
Yeah,
I didn't even fucking do it.
No,
okay.
No. But California is talking about a couple of $1 billion in reparations.
Come on, like whatever
for the people there. I mean, at some point.
Back to George Santos. Okay, here goes Newsom. I'm gonna give everybody $1 million if you're freaking And he lied his ass off. Let's bring him up on charges then. Since we're doing that, okay. I hate to keep looping back to the Santos guy, but I feel like all he did was do what everybody else does. Talk a bunch of shit.
That I'm hoping, Livingston Man, that's what we find out, and then the people,
I'm no fan of the guy.
People will have a reason to say, you know what, it's time for you to step on down.
I don't know the guy.
I don't know how many signatures it's going to take to get people like him out of where they're at, or what it would take legally to remove them, but whatever it is, it needs to be done.
You're gonna do one, then do them all.
Yeah, because if he pulls the veil back and he says, "Listen, I did nothing different than Chuck Schumer, than this guy, then this guy, then this guy, then this guy," it's time to rake them all over the coals collectively, and the only way to do it is to cut with a large knife and chop away at the problem. This isn't a scalpel thing. This is get the machete and hack away at this.
I almost sneezed because I'm allergic to the word Chuck Schumer. I dislike this man personally. I'm like with that smirk.
The Penguin from the original Batman series. That's Chuck Schumer. He's been in politics longer than I've been alive, and still somehow nothing changes in his district, but he keeps getting reelected because he knows how to pander to the people.
I guess I don't know why people vote for basically anyone. I'm like, have you seen this person? Like, who is voting for these
Ocasio-Cortez actually interviewed for a position for Congress. They wanted somebody who was very likable.
What do they call this? It's a political action committee or something like that?
Yeah. But they literally interview everybody and say, you're the best person for this position.
It's like some casting couch thing.
Well, they get down to like the science of it, that you got to have the right facial structure, you got to look the right way, you got to speak the right way, you got to say the right things at the right times, and she was exactly what they were looking for, and that's how you get a groomed politician.
Well, and not only that, but we got a screensaver real quick, but what that paves the way for is, okay, so now you have let's call it a corporation. Maybe it's small.
Okay.
But it's a business, nonetheless, a corporation, an organization.
Creating a political candidate.
And putting it forward. So is the political candidate doing the bidding of their so-called constituents, or are they doing the bidding of the board?
Yeah.
And now you know how American politics works, everybody.
That's right. That's right. So if y'all get behind Angry Prepper and Hudson Valley Prepping Survival 2024, we'll do the damn thing.
You thought Trump was going to drain the swamp? Listen, I'm going to take a pickaxe to the dam, holding it back, and I'll
ride it out, bro. Ride the tidal wave.
What happens? Like, I have something.
Jay Creature says you've never seen Chuck Schumer and Grandpa from the Munsters at the same time. That's true. That's true. It could be. I just
dislike the man personally. It's just his like, and New York politicians are always all the best attributes of politics come out when you start talking about New York. Tammany Hall, Albany. You say that word, it's like, yeah. Maybe you don't know this, okay? If you're new here, and if you're not from New York, you might not know that actually the capital of New York is Albany.
Yeah.
And that's where all the foul shit goes on.
Yeah.
They wake up in the middle of the night and they're like, you know what we should do is pass this law that violates like most people's rights. They're like, yeah, we should. Yep. And they do it.
Three guys in a back room.
You wake up in the morning a felon. You're like, wow, that was easy.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Love and Life says, we the people have been squashed by politicians because they're in the pockets of lobbyists.
Money.
Amen, my friend.
Money.
And I agree about political puppets. There was actually a bill passed bipartisan that was put forward to stop trading of certain things that you may have insider information on because you're in Congress. It was put forth by Ocasio-Cortez and a couple of the other younger, not so rich politicians.
They was like,
do you think they would vote themselves out
into
of the
poverty?
Stock market?
Live like us? Unnecessary.
Yeah, savage heathens.
Ew.
They're just never going to vote themselves less power. They're never going to vote themselves less money.
They don't give you your rights back.
That's going to happen. Yeah, as they strip them away, you'll never see them again.
You don't get them back.
No. And the more digital that things get, the more I see that they're changing definitions of things, especially like constitutional definitions. Just saying, it's an interpretation of, and they write it as a definition. You see that digitally all over the place.
Another indication of a schism or a fracture within the American system is different interpretations of what the
founding documents say.
Right.
Yeah.
Now this happens in religion all the time. There are so many different ones because people are taking the same document, interpreting different, and saying you guys are doing it wrong. We're going to do it like this. You're going to see this again. Whether the big republic, the red-blue split is already a done deal. You got 51-49%.
Yeah, that's basically the way it's going, right, guys? I mean,
then you're going to start whittling this stuff down state by state and start picking apart constitutions. And what does this mean and what does this say? And then you're going to end up with all these different little factions and
the balkanization.
It's inevitable.
It's going to come.
It's going to come. Inevitable.
So I guess you need to know who's on your side, right? I could see New York, Southern New York, New Jersey, the big metro areas into Philadelphia becoming this thing. Maybe not state by state, but maybe
metropolitan areas. What they should
banding together.
And what the metropolitan areas should do anyway, for the sake of the rest of us that don't live there, is incorporate like yourself and like. There should be like special status for cities over like I'm gonna go with 1 million people. All right, when you're like sucking the lifeblood out of the entire countryside around you to no benefit to the people that live in said countryside.
Yeah,
it's just wrong and unsustainable because one, on your end, all those people have to do is strike or secessio plebis and say, you know what, now we shut off the aqueducts and we ain't bringing food in no more. You're screwed. And
yeah, your city would die in weeks.
It's really never been proved to me exactly why an upstate New Yorker needs the city, but it's been proven time and time again why a New York City person needs upstate. New York City has nothing but salt water.
Yeah, wherein the upstate folks never really need the city. It's more like hey, I'd like to go visit something that's down there.
Yeah, it's impressive though it is. It's not the city, it's the people.
Stray Kitten says, we the politician, we the lobbyist. That's correct. Trev Terror says, therein is the problem. Politicians are evolving into a religion.
Yeah, it's demagoguery,
Absolutely.
actually, is the word. And you get people like Trump, who is a total demagogue. I'm not shitting on the guy. I'm using an accurate description. Presents himself this larger-than-life sort of godlike Joseph Stalin, the other fellow with the mustache, persona, and it's big and huge and loud, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
But that's when you, without that, like, you know, we're going to see some sort of Julius Caesar dictator type take power in America.
Well, the
people thought it was Trump, but apparently it wasn't. That dude turned out to be a chump. They didn't convict him of rape, but they found him responsible for it. So I don't know what the hell that means. But they're like, you didn't do it, but it was your fault.
Civilly, you can be liable for a lot without criminal charges.
She was like, he did it. And he was like, I did not. And the jury was like, well,
he did not.
You didn't do it, but it was your fault. Then who did it? Explain it to me like I'm 5. A ghost. Who is it? Ronald Reagan's ghost or something? John F. Kennedy?
Oh, man.
So Trump didn't do it, but it was his fault.
Jay Creature says, what's next? Locusts?
No. We already got stink bugs and millipedes and all that. I think the next one's got to be the frogs, right?
Raining from the sky.
We had the plague.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, the green comet's coming. Green comet's coming.
Maybe that's the death of the firstborn thing, the Passover. I mean, it's kind of going to pass over, isn't it?
Yeah, they said it might be brighter than the sun. We'll see.
But I know y'all religious folks, you don't believe in that space shit. So, well,
hey.
That's a green spotlight in the sky, am I right? Like the sun. The earth is a disc and we're turning and there's this light, like this spotlight.
Beaming
it's
on
a
it.
desk lamp.
Yeah.
That's all we are, you guys. We've gone off the rails. Bring us back, Mike.
We're all gonna die. It's Wednesday. Nobody gets out of life alive. You know what? So what could potentially, personally, what I'm preparing for is long-term grid down situation. That's my personal doomsday that I'm preparing for. So that being said, that can come about a number of ways. You could have man-made catastrophe. Somebody messes something up and the whole power grid collapses, right? Or you could have a natural type event, what they call a coronal mass ejection or a CME. Enough charged particles.
Steve, wasn't there another one too?
Yeah. Steve is another event. But these things can happen, Livingston, man. The sun just a little hiccup, and oops. Anything that conducts electricity gets fried. We don't necessarily need the Russian EMP, that Canadian Prepper says is going to do us all in. But the power grid failing it's something that's kind of likely, if you think about it. Any kind of SHTF situation that would require the average folks to just leave their everyday 9 to 5 and start to, make sure that you're okay and make sure you're secure. They're not going to be manning the power plants. They're not going to be manning the stations. The system may collapse and spiral out of control.
A general strike in that industry?
Could be a problem. Mary Misfit, welcome from Wisconsin.
The people that maintain and run these plants, electricity is such a given in our society that nobody even knows what it is. It's just there, It's that ingrained in us that we take it for granted.
Absolutely.
And the lack of it will lead to the almost immediate death of millions.
Yeah. Well, the federal government predicts 9 out of 10 people will die in the first year after a major grid collapse. And we're here to make sure that number changes, right? Get prepared, get your shit together. We preach it all the time. But
look into,
this can happen.
What, it wasn't so long ago, if you think about it, and it was long ago.
It's true.
But I like to say that, your great-grandparents didn't even have a refrigerator.
Very true.
Start like thinking back, and this is where like I stress history. You gotta know your history, but even in this case is look back on like the times before, like how did they do stuff before,
in the olden days
before we had what we got now, like how'd they do that?
Yeah, without electricity, without any of these things.
And I hope that you'll be inspired and emboldened to find that we've been doing this a long time and really don't need all this modern distraction as much as you might think you do.
No. Well, you'd obviously prioritize without all the modern distraction and concentrate on the food, water, shelter, food, water, shelter. Livingston, man, can you bring up our next article here?
Which is?
Yeah, that one can go.
Goodbye.
And here we are.
All right, so
here we are. So what we just had is what they call a backwards sunspot or a reverse polarity sunspot. These things are extremely rare. Only 3% of sunspots are reverse polarity sunspots. And they can be a little stronger than the average sunspot, right?
I don't know nothing about these things. This would be your area of expertise,
Yeah.
I suppose. On Sunday, May 7th, energetic particles from the outburst will arrive at Earth in the early hours of Wednesday, May 10th. That's today.
That's
the
today. It's happened.
The same explosion that launched this CMA also caused a medium-strength M1.5 class solar flare.
That's right.
They called it violent solar activity from sunspot AR3296.
Yep.
We used to just name them shit like Gemini and stuff. Can you guys not?
Yeah.
Like
so they're saying that this could cause auroras all the way down to Oregon, Nebraska, and Virginia today and tomorrow. So if you got a cool camera and you want to catch some stuff, stick it out. Could you bring up the next page? We'll share that with the folks too. Yeah. No, the next one. If you guys have never been to, if you ever want to learn anything about the stuff that goes on with the sun, check out NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center. This thing's really, really cool. It lets you mess around with the cameras. You're literally looking at the sun, looking for sunspots and things like that. Absolutely awesome. You should definitely check it out. Livingston, man, could you copy that link up top and drop it in the chat for folks?
Boy.
Boom. Check it out. NOAA's Space Weather. Absolutely awesome. And yeah, we're looking, we could see some northern lights.
Spoiler alert, these projections tend to portray the celestial bodies as round and spherical. I know some of y'all probably have a real problem with that, but okay, so in some cases, like these are, they tend to be circular. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I know you guys think it's like, a Sicilian pizza or something.
It's round.
Nobody even knows about banana Earth.
Yes, the guys are talking about it now. Suspicious observer. If you want solar news and weather and things like that are going on.
I do not.
It's interesting stuff.
Not for me. You know why? Because they're like a gamma ray burst is going to exterminate all life on the northern hemisphere, and I'm like, why would you tell me that?
Totally could. Bring it on.
It's like check engine. It's like, why would I want to know that?
Uncle Charlie, thank you for the link for Suspicious Observer. I would subscribe to him on my personal channel.
Is he one of these flat Earth people?
No. He's totally.
What's he suspicious
of? The connection between the sun and the earth and how things are very, very connected.
You don't even know about banana Earth.
K. Paul, yes, MY Prepper does from time to time talk about the sunspots and things like that as well, especially if you get like a big CME or a big solar event that happens, man. Those, they're still learning about them. They don't really know, so.
They can be legitimate.
Yardbird says it looks like CGI to me, just saying. It does. It totally does. I can see it. I mean, it looks, like Livingston, man, made it.
Or what made me that?
Yeah,
CME's in the the sun dictates basically everything that happens in our solar system in general.
Oh yeah, I think it's tied to earthquakes and things like that
and
as well.
Because of the magnetism and the electronics and all the whatever shit I didn't go to college for, it can affect especially communications and power grid electrical stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
As our society leans increasingly towards electrical things, we run more and more of a risk of being severely affected by an significant event as such.
Yeah, so you need to prepare for life without that.
And
that's kind of what I've been trying to do. Pick up cast iron pans, something that I can cook over a wood stove with, or fire if I need to. Because obviously no electric ranges, because gas is legal here in New York now. So I got to plug my electric stove in and cook everything on electric. And when the electric goes out, I still need to be able to cook my food to feed myself. I can dig a root cellar for refrigeration, but I'm going to have to cook outside on the fire.
Tried and true. Now, because in the event of a grid down thing, eventually the goal is homesteading. At some point, either you have one and you're going to stay there, or you're going to go somewhere and eventually
work somebody else's homestead,
or establish one or whatever. But the case is that what we should do is look back to that Little House on the Prairie, that Oregon Trail, that Dust Bowl, that post World War II, that settler manifest destiny attitude. I'm going to strike out in the wilderness and make my own way.
Gotta have it. And you gotta have the seeds to be able to do it.
Johnny Appleseed, man,
God bless. Eric says solar activity affects mental health. Yeah, I've heard that. Prepper Book Club says, I hope to never go through a corn dog mass extinction. Me either. Those are pretty shitty.
Homework for the week is Banana Earth theory.
Banana Earth theory? Is that it now? We're on a banana
Well, there's many of them. There's Donut Earth, there's Hollow Earth, there's Banana Earth, there's Flat Earth.
Okay, I could believe in Hollow Earth.
Also Disc Earth, where it's not flat, but instead it's like this.
A Disc Earth?
There's Vinyl Earth, where
it's been the needle on the record.
Yeah, there's a spot. And there's like I said, a desk lamp is just pointed at it, and that's the sun. That's the one I most identify with.
I just bought a 22-inch Kimono Joe ceramic barbecue. It weighs 265 pounds. Awesome, man. Do the ribs up, Jay Creature. Do them up. Scott, I agree. Corn dogs are delicious. All
right.
Yeah.
The guy who kind of digs spam is going to be like, corn dogs are not. Man, no.
He draws the line at corn dogs.
Not doing it.
Oh, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 8:30. We did give him a couple minutes late. Let's give him a couple minutes, extra.
Enlisted Prepper says, do you think it's a good idea to have a bug out bag ready with tool-specific items in it? Yes, but pending your bug out plan, mission specific, obviously, if you're going to another structure, you're probably not going to need a freaking e-tool and all that extra heavyweight gear. Especially if you're going on foot, man. If you're going on foot, go light, go far, go fast.
Yeah, if you're on foot, you ain't trying to put no power tools in your bag now.
No, but if you have a chance to take your vehicle, pack heavy, man. You never know what you're going to need.
Yeah, and you already have the tools. One thing, because, we're always like, don't be that guy comes out pulling your tent out of the plastic at the apocalypse.
Also, that's what the bug out bag weekends are for, man. Bring it there.
Also, don't be the guy who thinks you're gonna rebuild society just because you bought some tools and you have them. But if you're a guy who's got a van load of shit and you already know what you're doing,
do it.
Who's the apocalypse gonna need? You're gonna need
plumber.
Yeah, I was
gonna need a plumber.
Plumber was number one. Roofer.
A carpenter, at least.
Carpenter, roofer, builders, let's call them. All right. And then perhaps a mason.
Electrician.
Electrician is I would. That's.
Hey man,
that's optional.
You can make things work again if the device isn't destroyed, but the power source is. I can make
I can make the power source work, but listen, I can wire
alternators.
I can't fix yourself.
Alternators and bicycle chains. You link them suckers together, you can create some power, man. I mean, it's manual power, but you could do it. You could do it.
We all know, like, see, like Homeboy has a truckload of stuff, but other people's don't. If you don't, then like make friends with the dude that does.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody needs a hand. Everybody needs a hand.
But this is where prepping and your scenario and how you think you're going to do it is so very personal that it's almost impossible to... We can share ideas, but there is no right way to do it. You know what I mean?
Granite State Prepper says, Lord help us if society depends on framers. Amen, my friend. Or sheetrockers. Yeah, we'd be in big trouble. Big trouble.
Oh, without...
Campbell Clan says, or own a construction company. Absolutely. I do play one on TV. You know,
I mean, not everybody owns a construction company. Or do I? I mean, I got a box of tools. Can I just be like...
Yeah, there you go.
I
There
don't
you
like
go. The only thing missing is the name. Let's
Me
see.
and Jay
Mr.
Creature
Cheddar
both.
Prepper.
I mean, maybe you guys didn't notice, but I'm totally like the comic relief around here. Mike's so damn serious all the time.
Mr. Cheddar Prepper is sandwiched in between two military bases. Can't bug out, so he's standing his ground until the kaboom. Hey, different strokes for different folks. I am of the mindset of I am staying put until I absolutely have to leave, and I don't think all the city folks would make it through the Westchester folks because they would start a war with each other. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know. I mean, I would, again, I would hold out until I was like, all right, this position is untenable. I have a backup that is pretty damn good and I ain't too worried about it. And that's where I'll go.
Yeah. I say make an exit strategy in every direction because you never know which way danger is going to come from, whether it's airborne. You know, a chemical factory blew up and the wind's blowing my direction, so I have to go this way. If it's forest fire from the other direction and the wind's blowing, west, and I got to go that way. Have a exit strategy in every direction and pace plan everything, guys. Pace plan everything.
You will notice that the things that catch people off guard are always like sort of either weather events. I always stress these. Everybody's waiting for a Russian nuke or some kind of EMP.
No, man.
It could be a
Hurricane get you.
or a
Hurricane
Norris
get you.
or it's a man-made catastrophe.
Yeah, somebody
train derailed and the nuclear
That's it,
plant
man.
melted down and stuff.
Hey, it was about a year ago. New York City almost got gassed, and nobody really heard about it. But there was a big fire at a chlorine storage facility in New Jersey, just across the river, with real strong winds blowing towards the city that night. They pulled it. They couldn't. The boats couldn't shoot enough water to reach the building. So they pulled in firefighters from like everywhere to this place, and luckily they got it under control before it got to the dried stored chlorine, which would have been really, really freaking bad. The Prepper Book Club wants to know if that's Detroit in the background.
Probably. I think this is present day.
It could be. Man-made catastrophe. It's called marriage.
Yeah, train wreck in Ohio. Yeah, it was marriage, everybody. But again, the United States shares so many similarities with the Soviets that it's like almost unbelievable. Like we totally out here polluting the land and like it's a national park. It's a uranium mine.
It is now. It is now. We need that lithium, Livingston, man. But hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on this We All Gonna Die Wednesday. What was it, chapter 34 we're up to now?
How many brave souls looked up Rule 34?
Oh, good Lord. I did. Thanks for that. Gah.
Rules are the rules.
That's right.
You better obey them or you're in trouble.
So thank you all for joining us. Smash that like button if you haven't. We really appreciate it. And, well, we'll see you in the next video. I imagine would be out before the next We All Gonna Die Wednesday. So we'll see you out there, folks. Hudson Valley Prepping Survival. We out of here.